So, what's up, guys? I am back from being stranded in Sri Lanka for quite some time, as some of you know. This changed me so much that when I woke up this morning, I was like, maybe, just maybe, I should create a real tutorial in Blender for YouTube. So that's what I did. I hopped into Blender, I made an actual tutorial about this flickety flackety logo animation that I saw on LinkedIn and just stole the idea just like that. I saw it and was like, I'll make exactly that. So let's jump right into Blender and learn something new. So we're back on another ASMR Blender tutorial. I will try to keep this one very beginner friendly. I even turned on some button screencasting, which I never do, but today I did. And we will start with a scratchy Blender, meaning everything is default, no presets. So let's start. First, I will just delete everything. Hit F3 and get in some SVGs of the Nike logo. Don't export on accident. I did this before, and you just delete your files. Don't import as grease pencil. We want to import as a scalable vector graphic SVG. On the desktop, I got two logos. So one is this. Let's do it again. And one is this. I didn't find the perfect one. I have no idea what the hell React is. So we will just delete that just like that. So next, right click, set origin to mass, Alt G, put it in the middle, RX90, flippity whippity, that boy. Everything's quite twisted. Sometimes I like to just drop in a monkey to find out what the hell's going on. So we're just gonna flip this one more time. And now it's kind of correct, okay, to be really exact, let's match it up with the monkey. So this we will just keep there for a second. Now that we have the Nike logo in the middle, centered or semi-centered, we will go to the curve editor on the right, geometry, and extrude this boy up, something like that. Now we will get the Nike logo, flip it up, something like that, put the mass into the center and flip it. I guess this way is the right way, right? I think it's the right way. So we're going to match it up somewhere there. We're going to go into the camera where we can see the Nike logo, Control 3 in my case, numpad 3. And now we basically just have to put the Nike logo somewhere in here, not like this and not like this, exactly like this. How are we going to get close to exactly this? There's many ways. I'll just do it kind of quick and dirty. Zoom in a lot. I will just put it on the corner, not over the corner. Something like that. That's pretty close. I'm gonna shift right click, put the 3D cursor there, zoom all the way out, and basically zoom over the 3D cursor. So now it doesn't do it. I'm gonna hit dot and zoom over the 3D cursor just like that. Zoom in a lot again and just get close. Like, I don't even have to do it nearly as perfect as I'm doing it right now. Like, you just have to get close to the edge. If you get too close, it might even make some issues with the Boolean that we will be using. Next, we'll extrude this boy, not like that, but like, wait, what? Extrude, not offset. Just like that. So now it's just chop right in that boy. Select everything, object, convert to mesh. Why? So we can do a clean Boolean. So now we got a mesh, not a SVG, not a curve. We will go to the Nike logo, I'd say, hook up a Boolean and select the Nike logo. Obviously, this is not correct. We will hit intersect. And in there, we got what we want. So we will just, I think, probably apply it. I think this should go without issues and delete the Nike. So now we got this broken boy right here. What's going on here? These are broken normals. Easiest way to fix these normals is to go to normals right here and auto smooth this boy. Looking pretty tasty right there. Okay, now I'd say we reset the origin once again and Control A and just reset all transforms so we don't have, let me go back. So you see we had some crazy scales and rotations. So Control A, all transforms to clean that up. So we got a clean little model that we can flippity whippity around. What next? I'd say we're just gonna place a camera, Alt R, Alt G, RX90. We're still over the 3D cursor. So dot, median point, Alt G. So now it's in the center. Move this boy back, numpad 0, go into the camera. And now you see we've got some perspective. We do not want this in this case. So we're gonna hit orthographic. I guess we can just zoom in the camera and you already see that the Nike logo does not fit into the center. I'd almost say we just do this by hand. Oh no, there's an easy way we can do it. Let's get one corner here, one corner here. Shift S, cursor to selected. You see, here was the origin. Now it's here. I guess that's more centered. Yeah, I'd say that's more centered. Set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, now it's too far in the front. So now if we flippity whippity, or maybe, yeah, this does not work. So let's flippity whippity this around. I'd say move it here. And yeah, I think just set the 3D cursor. I'm actually surprised this was a good way to do it, but to be honest, that worked just like a charm. Okay, I hope you were able to follow this far and have a flippity whippity Nike logo that flixy wixy just like this. Next, I'd say we'll animate. So keyframe, a single keyframe on Z rotation. So we can do this. Let's go to maybe 50 frames, flippity whippity, 90 degrees, and keyframe. Okay, so now you should have something like this. We're gonna get the front keyframe, bring it to 100, so we got a looping animation. And now I gotta use my brain a little bit. I think we will go to about frame 10. Available, so keyframes everything that's available. Let me close WhatsApp real quick. Then we'll go 10 frames back, also keyframe this. So this should not really change anything. So next thing we're gonna do is go into the middle and take these two keyframes and scale them down to slow down in the front and in the back. WhatsApp's still open. Wait a moment. Didn't I just close this? Hey boy, close boy. Let's chop it up like this. So gone. So now we slowed down, speed up, slow down. It looks like whoop, not too great. Maybe let's scale them down even more. So whoop, this is not that great. I have the feeling my PC is laggy. It is actually lagging a little bit. I guess something like this is cool. It's okay. It's not great. It does the job for now. So let's take this package. Yeah, and now it does the same here. So here we're going to do the same real quick. Add a keyframe, and go to the center and scale these down right here. Now I think it should whoop and whoop. I guess that's all right. Shift D, all these boys, not really necessary because it will just render longer if you render the same thing twice, but I'll just do it that way now. Yeah, to be honest, that's kind of stupid, but I'll do it anyways. It doesn't really matter, we'll render so fast. So it looks just like this. So I hope you were able to follow this far. Not too bad, right? So next we will definitely save for once. Just save here. And I'd say we hop over to rendering. So if I render right now, everything will crash and look pretty ugly. This is Eevee. We could use Eevee in this case, I guess, but I just don't like Eevee. Let's go to cycles, let's go to GPU, let's go to edit preferences, check if your GPU is enabled. Mine for some reason was not because I resetted everything. Max samples, 32 should do the job. Denoising, fast should also do the job. Open image denoiser is slower than optics, but does look quite a bit better. So this should be a good render setup right here. We're gonna delete the material of the Nike, so it should look something like this. I'd say we kill the sky. We will add an area light for now, just over it, so we see something. Now it should look something like this. Next, we're gonna add motion blur. Just keep it default. just to, yeah, take away a little bit of choppiness. I would say we zoom out the camera a little bit. I got a bit close, but I kind of want the whole Nike logo to be visible, something like this. And now we're gonna go into shading. So get another window, click here, hit S to go to the shader editor, also add a material, ideally name it something, doesn't really matter. And the most important thing I think we'll need is the bevel shader, because we got some pretty hard ass corners that will cut up some fingers. We don't want that. So now I broke Blender. I've had this before. So I'll just save and for some reason close Blender and open up Blender. No idea why this happens. Now render. Yeah, now it works. I have no idea why this happens. But yeah, that's a fix. Just close Blender. Bump up them samples, and scale usually is something around here. If your scale's way off, maybe you have to apply all transforms, but it should look something like this. If you can't really see the bevels, sometimes what I do is just going to metallic and changing roughness a little bit so you can see the bevels a little bit better. Maybe we even go sharper like this. So just that there's a little corner there. So turn off metallic again. So I have no idea what to do with this Nike logo, really. I guess I'm just too uncreative. So I just downloaded some random textures from textures.com that I'm just going to drop on there for fun. But I guess then you also learn how to add textures in case you really don't know anything about Blender. So let's do that. Okay, so I just drag and dropped all these textures in. The first thing we're going to do is hook up the normal map. The normal map has to be non-color detail, and you have to use a normal map node. Drop it right there. Goes purple to purple, yellow to yellow, not yellow to purple. I can't tell you how often I've seen people do yellow to purple. Let's hook up the roughness. Also on the roughness, be careful. It's hard to see here. Oh no, actually you can't see it. You see this hard weird corner. Roughness is not rendering correctly. Also here, no color detail. That will be more accurate. Get the albedo. This actually is a color texture, so leave it on sRGB. Now we got this weird ass slime texture. Don't ask questions, just follow along. Next, we're gonna hit Control T, which does not work on a default Blender. So go to Preferences, go to Add-ons, get the Nodage Wrangler right here, enable that boy, and Control T, and you got this beautifuls. These you could do by hand, but it's quicker with a Control T action. We can use the UVs. Let's go to Edit Mode with Tab and just, oops, did I just break something? Let's just give it a cube projection. That should work. So now you should have something like this. If your texture scale is way off, get a value node, hook it up here. For me, 1 fits just fine, but look, you could just scale it up to this weirdness. I don't even know. Next, I will just add some subsurface. Not that much. Maybe not even that much. Maybe something like this. Maybe even less. Maybe something like this. So you see the corners, but they're red. We don't want red, so we're going to go to the subsurface radius. R is on 1, G is on 0.2. We're basically just going to flop these boys up just like that. So now we really got some subsurface on the green. So now we got some green glowing stuff here. And really just don't ask questions how I came up with this. I don't know. I don't know. So we're just going to go to the 3D view here. And yeah, just give it a light setup. So first we're going to do a classic rim light, and to make it a bit easier, we're going to use the track 2 constraint on the Nike logo. What this does is always look at the Nike logo. That will make it a bit easier. So I'm also going to rotate the Nike logo a little bit, and you already see the bubbles and the bevels are getting hit by light. That's exactly what I want and what I like. This is a classic rim light. Maybe that's nice. Here it glows up that, and here it kind of shines, kind of does nothing. I think that's actually not too bad. So we're gonna get a second one as a fill or key or whatever light, and just give it some like, yeah, main light right up front. Maybe scale it up so we got some soft light, maybe something like this. Color management, we will not use filmic, use standard, and maybe we'll use exposure, and maybe we'll kill gamma a tiny bit to give it some contrast. So let's go with 0.85 or something, and let's go with 2.5 or something like that. Okay, that's quite interesting. So I'm not sure if I like the light here. Would look nicer like this. And let's go back to the front. Yeah, so here it's not enough. I almost think either we put in some sky. No, we definitely... Nah, we're gonna get a second light. So Shift D. And I'm also not quite sure. But... just so there's a bit more light from the bottom. Not really. Maybe this is good. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what kind of like Nike logo this is representing, but this looks good. If I hide the light, yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. So that's good because I already like the side. So that looks good. Like the white is really popping, but I think it's okay because it's just a transition, and we also could add some bloom. We see this is not too bad. I guess that's okay. Okay, now we will render. So hit that F12 right there and make a render. I guess that looks just fine. We're gonna go to the compositor by hitting C. Control space, making that boy full screen. Hit use nodes, and there you have it. Da beautiful. Get in a viewer node, and somehow I always forget holding control, no. Holding alt, no. I always forget the, so holding shift and dragging, what was it, right click, exactly. So you can have this thingy here coming from the same place, makes it a bit easier. Why did we make this? Because we want to use a backdrop image somewhere over here. I really didn't use Blender for quite some time. Where is it? There it is. Beautiful. So what we might use, which could look cool, like it's a kind of a artificial effect, lens distortion. Theoretically realistic, but in Blender, I don't know, it looks a bit funny. It's more like yeah, you see, what do you call it? Art filter. I don't know, but yeah, just give it a little bit of this. I guess that already looks fine. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm also still thinking if we give it some depth of field. Maybe, but nah. Or yeah, maybe we give it some depth of field also. I don't want to pull this video too long. I'm not sure how long this already is, not showing me. But yeah, what else could we add? We could test some bloom, but I'll be careful with that. So let's get one of these parts rendered with some bustin' white, and you already see the motion blur hitting in, looks very tasty. And maybe get some bloom, which is not called bloom, and the compositor is actually called glare. So now we got some glare streaks right there. Actually, this already looks pretty good. Maybe give it some more. Maybe give it some fog glow. I like fog glow more. Let's give it some size. That looks good. That actually looks good. I like this. It's subtle. That does the job. Okay, I think we're basically done. Next thing is, one thing before we render, don't render PNGs, render JPEG, or if you want to go straight for video, FFmpeg video, and don't forget encoding not matroshka, maybe just use MPEG-4, so it's a MP4. But I will actually render JPEGs to have more control in post. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, and of course, give it a path. But yeah, now I think we're just gonna add some focus real quick. So when it's on the Nike, here's a little trick. Shift right click, so the 3D cursor is right on the surface. Right there. Actually, maybe put it lower. Actually, maybe I won't use depth of field because I think it will break the illusion because it's so curved. So then this will start getting blurry. Yeah, never mind. I think we won't, or let's test it real quick. Let's see how it looks. So I added a 3D cursor. I'm gonna add a empty object right there. And we're gonna go to the camera. We're gonna go here, depth of field, and select this empty object and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Because it's so long and everything, it starts blooming everything. Yeah, never mind. No depth of field. I think this is finished. So I'll just render this, and I think that's the tutorial. I hope you learned something about many aspects from animation, rendering, shading, and some Boolean and some SVG, and have fun, and see you soon on another ASMR tutorial.